right, well, hello and welcome everybody to the next installment of the Maximum Performance webinar series. This is Eric Janesco, head coach of Maximum Acceleration here. And I've got my good friend Jen Plessis, who's one of our chief executive coaches, who will be presenting today's program. Just as people are getting signed on, we all know that the alarm goes off. It takes a few minutes to get through the GoToMeeting system and all that stuff. So we'll get started with the hard program here in just a minute, but I want to take care of a couple of quick housekeeping things here just as we're getting started. So humor us for a minute as we give a little bit of time here for those folks that are just getting signed in and registered now to get dialed into the system and ready to roll here. First of all, we're excited to share this particular program. This is something that Coach Jen's been working on, and in some context, part of the topic of the book that she's going to be sharing in the not-too-distant future. But she's going to be talking about how to making real opportunities and connections with individuals. By the way, for those of you just signing on, a couple of quick things just to get the most out of this experience. This is our 238th episode, I believe, of this series that we started back in 2012, and over the course of those several hundred events, we picked up a few things about how to get a better overall experience. And so if you're signing in, if you've got any issues or challenges with audio quality, if there's any distortion, popping or cracking, or if it sounds like I'm talking through one of those funny auto-tuner things that the kids are so happy about on Pop Artists. Anyway, if you're having any difficulties with the audio, we highly recommend that you go ahead and switch over to the telephone option instead of the computer mic speakers. Like I said, you're over an internet streaming format, so your data and your audio quality is going to be competing with any other internet traffic on the network, not only on your computer, but all of your colleagues' computers as well. So that's where a lot of that audio degrading and audio quality issues and problems come from. Therefore, if you go ahead and dial in with the telephone option, typically you get a much better quality. Of course, to find that information, all you have to do is on the right-hand side of the control panel, just open up the audio button. That will give you the option to select telephone and then dial in using the phone number, access code, and audio pin that is in your control panel. The one that's on the screen you see is just for demonstration purposes. Secondly, this is going to be an interactive program, and I know Coach Jen loves to field questions and take and interact with you guys and have more of a conversation with the audience as she presents programs like this. And the best way to do that is through the question/chat box. If you'll go ahead and open that panel up, hit again the arrow that opens that window up for you. You can even detach it and drag it into your screen so you can be able to communicate. So as we're going through the program, feel free to type in comments, questions, suggestions, thoughts as they come to you and you want to get more clarity on later. We'll be doing a full Q&A section towards the end of the program in addition to fielding and responding to comments that you make as Coach Jen goes through the program. So one last housekeeping thing for those of you who just signed on. One, we recommend you use the telephone option for audio quality. You get the best results typically that way. Secondly is when we're going through the program, if you want to interact with myself or Coach Jen, feel free to use the chat or questions box option. So let's do two things here really, really quickly. If you guys wouldn't mind, pop in the chat box and let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Give me a little bit of an audio check, for that purpose. I'll be able to know whether you guys can hear me or not, and you guys will get a test at. All right, there you go. Looks like loud and clear. All good. Sounds good. Okay, Coach Jen, why don't you say a few words to greet the folks? Folks, if you'd let Jen know if you can hear her as well.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're excited for today. Get ready to take a lot of notes.
I know I am. I've got my pad and pencil ready. Coach Jen always has a wealth of information, and I'm excited to hear what she has to share because I haven't seen this program yet. So,
yeah.
As much as we've been traveling all over the country and skipping around doing all kinds of things these days, we don't get connected as often as we used to. All right, well, guys, one last thing we're going to take care of behind the scenes here, and then we'll be off to the races. Okay, well, welcome once again, folks, to the next installment in this Maximum Performance webinar series. Again, my name is Eric Janesco. I'm the head coach here at Maximum Acceleration, and I'm very pleased and honored and privileged to share with you what is about the 238th episode in this series we started back in 2012. The reason we put this program together is because we noticed that there's a significant lack of high-power performance result-oriented training and education in our industry. So we wanted to bring together a community of folks who were dedicated to really perfecting their craft and taking their performance to that exceptional level, because that's what we do here at Maximum Acceleration Coaching. Is our only goal is getting you from where you are to where you want to be as fast as humanly possible. So that's why we created this series of high power, high caliber, top performance strategies that will help you grow your business exponentially. And today's program is a program that behind the scenes Coach Jen and I have been working on for many, many months, called Exchange, Expose, Explode, making real connections to ignite your business opportunities to new heights. And of course, it's presented by not only one of our chief executive coaches, Ms. Jen Plessis. She's a very dynamic speaker. She's got a wealth of information with over 30 years of mortgage experience and a wide variety of roles. Most importantly, being a top producing originator, doing around $80 million a year in total production with her and her team. So without further ado, Jen, I'm going to turn everything over to you and sit back and listen and learn.
Okay, sounds good. Let's get going. Okay, so we wanted to present and share with you better ways to engage with your realtor partners and your other referral partners. In my coaching, what I'm finding lately is that everyone's saying, you know, my relationships are just very superficial. And I personally I'm over go deep. I want to get deeper in my relationships. I think that what we want to do is we want to have richer relationships. We want to be have these relationships be more rich in our lives, in our businesses. And the thought is this: you can work with 100 pennies, or you could work with 20 nickels, right? Or you could work with 4 quarters. So where do we want to be spending our time? And I definitely do not want to spend my time with 100 pennies. I want to isolate, categorize, and determine where I'm going to have these relationships and what they're going to do for me. So I've been working on this for quite some time, and I just need to set it up a little bit with you just before we get started. The first thing is that we can't be a one-man band, and I think we all know that, or one-woman band. We all know that we cannot be this one-woman band and try to do everything ourselves. And I know that many of you who are listening are working independently, and that's fantastic. We just have to work better when we are a one-man band. But the goal ultimately is for us to be the conductor, for us to be able to say, I brought the audience to you, now make beautiful music, my team, and make my clients happy, and to set that up so that you have unbelievable success. And I always like showing this picture because it's amazing. Can you imagine if this driver got out of the car and said, I got this, I got it, I'll take care of all these pieces? He wouldn't win the race, and that's the problem with us too. We can't win the race if we're doing all of these jobs. So I want to talk about moving up the ladder of success. And so if you think about how it looks like when you're crawling, up a ladder or going up these rungs. So you've got these 2 sides here, and then obviously the rungs. You cannot get to the top of the ladder if you're not letting go of the bottom rung. There's no possible way you can stretch and be, all things. So what you need to understand is that as you grow, as your business and your practice grows, you need to let go of the things that took you from one rung to the other. So if we look at these rungs as being, let's say the first rung is $500,000 a month in volume, and you want to get to $1 million, you're going to have to let go of some of the things that you're doing now in order to get there. And let's look way up high on that ladder. And if you want to be doing $9–10 million a month in production, the things that got you to 500,000 will not be the things that will get you to 10 million, or the people as well. Sometimes it's just the people that you have on your team. So I want to set that up before we start going into this whole process to help you understand that less is more. Really is. I mean, that's why we've got these phrases and these sayings that we have. They really mean something. Less is more. So I see a lot of people running around and doing activities, and it's like eating soup with a fork, right? You're really busy, you're really tired, and you're saying, gosh, I think I did something today, but I'm not sure what I did. That's eating soup with a fork. So don't mistake your movement for achievement. Make sure that your movement is succinct, has a purpose, and that you're consistently doing it. Missing one day and banking it and doubling up on another day is not consistency. That's not going to get you to where you need to go. Again, activity for productivity. Just because you're doing activities doesn't mean that you're going to be productive. So we want to make sure we're doing the right activities, and rushing around for results, you know, always in a panic, always on fire. Calm down. Stop and slow down to speed up. And that's one of the phrases and that we use here in my office with my team is, let's just slow down so that we can speed up. And it's hard when you're running around, especially at this silly season of the year, time of the year, where we just don't have time to train people. We don't have time to talk to people. But really, if we just slow down, we can speed up and go much faster on the other side. So what does that look like? It looks like this. Do only, and the trifecta, it's also called the hedgehog theory, but really do what you are really good at. Focus on doing these three things: what you're really good at, what you absolutely love to do, and what makes and drives your economic engine. So I'll give you a couple of good examples here. One is, I used to be an underwriter, and so I'm excellent at reviewing tax returns, so I'm really good at it. But I don't love to do it anymore. People drop the files in my desk and say, hey, can you tell me what their income is? I do not love doing that anymore. And certainly it doesn't drive my economic engine, because I am a finder. And if you've listened to any of my past webinars, I've talked about being the finder, the minder, and the grinder in your business. I'm the finder. It doesn't make sense for me to be spending 20 minutes looking at tax returns when I don't like doing it, okay, so even though I'm good at it. So I stopped doing that, and I hired someone who can do it for us, for our team. Another example might be broker opens. Okay, are you good at them? If you're the type of person that does broker opens because your real estate agent asks you to do that, but when you get there, you kind of stand back in the corner, you're not real sure how to do it, and you're not real good at it, and then as a result, you really don't love doing it, and the real estate agent's probably not going to give you business because they're a listing agent. They make that claim that they're a listing agent. Why does it make economic sense as well? So if you can get 2 out of 3, answer yes to 2 out of 3, then think about it. But the goal here is only do what you're good at, only do what you love to do, and only do things that drive that economic engine for your practice. Okay? All right, so here's 2 reasons we don't make phone calls. And this is what I'm talking about getting out in front of people and doing the right things. The first is laziness. We're just lazy. We don't want to make the phone calls to people. We don't want to create these strong, rich relationships. That's why we don't end up going deeper, as the word is. We just are lazy. The second reason is we're afraid of the phone. The bottom line is we are afraid of the phone. And I have news for you. This is not, I know we always say, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to be too pitchy and too salesy if I make the phone calls. It's your problem, not theirs. They do want to hear from you, but you have to make sure that there's purpose in your call, and that's exactly what you're going to learn today, so you won't be afraid of these anymore. And I have to tell you, I love this picture, because no one's going to do your push-ups. You have to do them yourself. No one's going to make these calls. These are going to be yours. You've got to make them for richer relationships. Now, calling your database is another thing. I have a dialer who does all that. But calling these relationships, you have to do this. There's no one else who's going to be able to do it. And so I don't want you to get your panties in a wad, because we're going to walk through how we're going to do it. So let me give you a couple things about leads on what's holding us back. 44% of loan officers or salespeople generally give up after 1 follow-up phone call. They just give up. Didn't get hear back from them, and mostly because we don't have a system to continue to follow up, so we forget that we were supposed to call them. Oh, that's $80, 80%. 80% of sales require 5 follow-up phone calls after the meeting. So we have to develop systems that generate at least 5 phone calls after initially meeting with a realtor or a financial planner, whoever our partner is. 10%, there's a 10% greater revenue increase with automated lead management. So Doing nothing reduces your revenue by 10%. If you have something that automates either the lead man going out to the lead or automates to prompt you to make the phone call, you're going to increase your business by 10% or your revenue by 10%. Nurturing emails get 4 to 10 times more response rate than just blasts. And what I mean by that is they've got to be personal emails, personal phone calls, personal text messages where you're using their name in it. Okay, personalized emails, again, improve click-through rate by 14% and conversion rate by 10%. I can tell you, if you look at your leads to conversions and you increase it by just 10%, most likely you would hit your goals every single year. So making sure that we're personalizing these and not just getting trapped into the digital high-tech age. We want a combination of high-tech and high touch. 82% of buyers viewed at least 5 pieces of content before choosing the salesperson that they were working with. So that means that we've got to send good quality content and be sharing with our partners and our clients. And 68% of consumers feel more positive about receiving, after having received the content. They know who we are. So really important that we are engaging. That's what this is about. This is engaging. Are you doing or are you engaging? Doing is just sending out mass emails. Engaging is pulling them closer to you. And it's really not a pulling, it's more of a drawing closer to you. You're drawing them in rather than pulling and prodding and begging them to come to you. Okay, so let's get into some motivation and habits. You know, motivation is what's going to get you started. Habits are what's going to keep you going. I just interviewed someone for my podcast who talks about perfection, and one of the problems with perfection is it's idea hopping. Is that you're going to listen to this today, have a great idea, oh my gosh, and spend a whole week dealing with this, and then it might kind of fall off a little bit and it becomes not a habit, right? And you forgot all about this process that I'm about ready to tell you. So it's really, really important that you develop habits. And part of that is developing habits through time compression. So I want to talk, I love the way I explain this. I hope you don't mind, but I love talking about it. Time compression, especially if you're the person who is the finder, minder, and grinder in your business, but for all of us, time compression is unbelievably critical. People ask me all the time, how do you get so much done, Jen? I have 5 businesses. I speak. I have a podcast. I run a major business. I'm a real estate investor. I'm about ready to be an author. So I have all of these activities going on, and how do I get them all done? Well, I compress my time. So the idea here is this. Why is it that when we get home from the grocery store, we don't take one item out of the back of our car and take it into the house and then come back out and get another item? Why is it that we carry it all in one bag? And the answer is efficiencies, right? So we're doing like-minded things at the same time. So when we look at this in another context, why is it that we take out laundry, we take it out and we put it in a basket? Why don't you just take it out, take a shirt out, fold it, run it to the bedroom, come back, take out a towel, fold it, run it to the linen closet, come back? And the reason is because it's efficiencies. And when we fold clothes, we also put them in stacks of like-minded things. All the shirts go together, all the towels go together, etc. In our businesses, we don't do that. What we do is we get into the office, we turn on our computer, and we allow the inbox of our email to be the driver on how we're going to do our time compression. Does that make sense? We say, hey, somebody wants a pre-approval letter. Someone else has a question about a pay stub. Someone else wants to have a conversation with me and schedule an appointment. And it's the 5th email that's gone back and forth about trying to schedule an appointment. And so all of these tasks are different items. They're not like-minded. And when they're like-minded, you can cram them out, you can get them out as quick as possible. So we call those jam sessions or power hours, where nothing gets interrupted. No phone calls, no email, no, hey, got a quick second to talk to me, but you're jamming your time all into one place. The perfect example for this in our industry is when you go to price a loan for me, I have to log on to Optimal Blue and I have to go price a loan. But if I have to price 5 or 6 loans, why wouldn't I just log on one time, price 1 or 2, and then realize, oh my gosh, I don't even have to price 3 and 4 because 1 and 3 are exactly the same. So I've just saved time, plus I'm in a rhythm. It's a rhythm and a pattern of doing it. And by doing that, you will compress your time and you will get much, much more done in a shorter period of time. Listen, I think balance is a crock. I don't believe in balance. I think when you're balanced, you're 50% this and 50% that. I'd rather be 100% all in and then 100% all in the next task instead of task switching. Okay, so I want to just set that up. I think it's really, really important. So these are some strategic time blocks that you might want to consider, you know, that you have a strategy time where you have uninterrupted calls. You can call these power hours, jam sessions, whatever you want to call them, where you focus all of your energy on pre-planned projects or activities. Maybe all the phone calls back to the clients who just called you. Maybe you're working on a project like a presentation like this, but a minimum of 2 hours a day that you're spending doing strategic activities. How many of you have spent the night, not the night, spent the evening after hours and you get so much more work done because you're not interrupted? So what we want to do is we want to try to get all of that done in the 9 to 5 period rather than the 9 to 11 o'clock at night or the 5 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. Then you have tending time. Once you've done your strategic time, then you want to work on your low-level activities, your unplanned issues that have come up, your 1 to 2 30-minute blocks a day where you can quickly return phone calls to your processor, answer a question, review something that someone needs. And then the last one is your rest time. It's designed to refresh and reinvigorate you. I always tell my husband when I'm resting that I'm making money. He says, what are you doing? I said, I'm making money while I'm sitting here because I'm rejuvenating, I'm sharpening my axe so that I can go at it again. So rest time is actually making money. So we want to go into the exchange piece of this. So this is the meat of it. Get your pens ready. So the Power Partner Program, it's funny, Eric and I were talking about this, and I said, I call it the Power Partner Program. He goes, oh, that's funny, I have one too. So I think it's nothing new here about that. But the idea is for us to have richer relationships. And the first thing that happens with is trust, okay? And we know the old saying of, I know, like, and trust them, but I'm going to redefine it for you. Do you really know them? Do you really like them? And do you think that they're credible? So I'm going to imagine that you're at a networking event, okay? So visualize this networking event. And you see the same realtor you've seen 100 times. They're like, hey, how are you? And you go, oh, fine, that's good, great to see you. And you're saying, gosh, they know what I do. So why aren't they sending me business? And that's the biggest problem right there. They don't know who you are. In order to really know you, they need to know who you are. They might like you, but there's no way that they can begin to trust you until they really know who you are. And that requires really strong relationships and really deep conversations with them in order to accomplish that. So learn who they are, not what they do. You already know what they do, so ask them that. Here's a good question to ask when you're networking. Instead of saying, so what do you do? To anybody. So what do you do? They say, hey, look, I'm gosh, especially in Washington, D.C., where I'm at, I'm a government contractor, and to me, that's like a big black hole. I'm like, oh, that's great. Instead, maybe you want to say, so tell me about your business and who you serve. And that changes the whole dynamic. Tell me about your business and who you serve as a means to open up that conversation, not finding out who they are. The second step in gaining richer relationships is knowledge, and that's networking. Well, again, when we go networking, this is a big issue with everybody who networks. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard, oh, I've tried that networking thing, it doesn't work. The reason it doesn't work is because you went there to get a deal, not to find a potential partner. You're not going to get a deal at networking. Now, how many of you have been in a networking event? And these poor Mary Kay consultants, I always give them a hard time, or Stella and Dot girls. But when I'm at a networking event, and they say, what do you do? I say, I'm a lender. And they go, oh, well, I'm with Stella and Dot. Do you want to have a party? Immediately, they want a deal. Can you imagine if I said to them, I'm a lender, can I get your social security number and your date of birth? Let's do a loan. Let's do a loan. And it seems really silly when we do it, but this is what people do. And so we're not there to get a deal. We're there so that we can find out who we really want to work with. Okay, and do I really know what they do, and have I stereotyped them? Don't you, hey, you're a plumber. Someone says, oh, I'm a plumber. Immediately I'm thinking, well, I'll call you when I have a problem, right? So what we want to do is we want to get deeper into that relationship, understand exactly who they serve and not what they do. Don't leave it to happenstance. The third is training. We have got to train our partners. So here's what I'm suggesting to you. You've got to have 2 meetings. One meeting for them so you can learn all about them, and one meeting for us so they can learn about us. How do we want to be referred? What are the things that we have challenges with? What are our goals? What's our family like? And I'll talk about all that here in just a few minutes. But training's really, really critical instead of, hey, I got this mortgage broker that can help you with your loan. I don't know your deal, your situation, but they can help you with the loan. And so that's the first thing that you want to be talking about, is making sure that you're being referred the way you want to be referred. Second part about the training is what to listen for. What are some of the triggers? We get it. When we're networking, we hear someone say, hey, yeah, my house is too big, or, I just lost my job, or I just got engaged. We immediately know how to approach that person. But when that happens in a social network or a business network for one of my partners, I don't necessarily pick up those triggers. Okay, so does that make sense? So we want to have them educate us on triggers for us, on what we can be listening for. And then what do we really do for clients? What is it they really, really do? So my chiropractor, he does, obviously chiropractor, right? He's a chiropractor, but he also has a yoga class. He also does some, I can't think of the name, the pins and needles that people do. I can't think of it. Acupuncture, and then he also is into the oils and stuff. Okay, so you do all this, and you're a chiropractor, but what do you do the most of? Because I don't want to send people to you for all the things that you do. I want to know what you do the most of, because if we're going to be focused and take our business to new heights, we need to know what you do 80% of the time. So look, we all can do pretty much every loan, right? Well, all kinds of loans. We can do 203K, we can do purchase, refinance, renovation, some USDA, we can do all kinds of things. What we want to do is work with our partners to help them understand exactly what we do for our clients. We'll talk about that in a moment. What we do for our clients and what we really do with that partner. So for example, if I'm working with a realtor, I'm going to tell them what I do for clients differently than if I work with an attorney, because their needs are different and I want to be able to speak from their side of the table. Okay? And then who do we want to help? So it's the same thing. Okay. And then more importantly, what is our process? The one thing I hate worse than anything is getting excited about a real estate agent, working with them, and then I finally get a deal, and then we find out and we learn from each other that there's a mishmash here. Their team member sends out a bunch of emails, we send out a bunch of emails, now the client's confused because all these emails are going out and we have all these different touch points. Or the worst case scenario is that we work with a real estate agent who somebody did that to them, some other loan officer did that, and they have to call and bother me every few minutes about the status of the loan instead of just letting me do my job. So why not address these issues up front with all of your partners to help them understand what your perfect process is, or your perfect loan process, or your evolving process, so that they understand exactly how it's going to be and what it's going to look like when they work with you. So we're going much, much deeper in this. So the best way that they can help us, the best way they can help us, and it may not be referrals. Again, not deals. It may be connections. It may be exposing us, expanding our business. That's perfectly fine. as well. So we have to be aware of all these positions that these people have with us. Okay, the second or the next part, and so there's 5 steps to this. This is, or 6 steps. The next is referrals, you know, doing networking with them. Good quality referrals and connections. They will come once you show how much you care. Now we know this phrase as well. They don't, actually I don't know the phrase. Eric, you're sitting there. They want to know how much you care, not how much you know, right? Something like that. So we want to be able to do that. Then we want to explore. These are consistent strategic conversations that we're going to have with these partners day in, day out. You'll understand in a moment. We go. It's important to keep that cycle going. It's important that we thank them with something meaningful that's based on their interests and their goals, not just the standard umbrella with your logo, but something that is of interest from them. We reward the behavior of someone who is connecting us. Okay? So, all right, any questions so far? Should we stop for just a second and see if we have any questions, Eric?
There were a few that I can throw in here for you, Jen, if you wanted to cover them, or if you wanted to just hammer on through the program and then we can get to them. Like a couple of them had to do with some of the connection stuff. Yeah, nothing that was major urgent yet.
Okay, all right, good. All right, so let me introduce you. You're going to have 4 different partners. I'm going to introduce you to the first partner. Your first partner is your profit partner. The second is your power group. Third is your cross-promotion partner. And the 4th is your content distributor. You're going to have 4 different categories of people that you are engaging with on a regular basis. Okay? The problem, and where this all stemmed from, was I didn't like having a conversation with someone. Finally got an appointment with a realtor, however it came about, a meeting with a real estate agent or a financial advisor or an attorney, and we did the one and done. Hi, it's great to meet you. Okay, this is what I do. This is what I do. This, you know, what we do, not who we are. This is what we do. A little dabbling in of personal things because that's my style anyway. But this is great. I'll send you business. That sounds good. Whenever something comes up, I'd be happy to refer you. And it was one and done. And then eventually this person went from my A+ down to my A, my B, my C, and then eventually I said, gosh, I haven't talked to them for a long time, so I might as well just go ahead and get rid of them. So the thought here is if we can meet with them to say that we're developing partnerships, we're developing partnerships with a handful of individuals, and when you go to the meeting, your job is to determine what bucket they fit into for this, not to say, hi, I'm interviewing for profit partners, and then get there and say, sorry, I don't think you're going to make it as a profit partner, so I'm going to make you a content distributor. That's not going to make them happy. Instead, you're just going to go there as a partner. I'm working on my partnerships, and I'm developing stronger and richer relationships with people. And when you're done at the end of the conversation and you think this person's kind of a dud, isn't really going to work, then you say, you know, one of the things I'd love to do is have you be part of my content distribution. And that you're just popping them into there without them even knowing. Okay? So let's talk about the profit partner. You want to have 6 total members of this. That means 5 profit partners plus you. That's it. 5. I know, and you're all getting scared. You're going, but I need everybody. Remember, we don't need 100 pennies. We just need a handful of quarters, a handful of dimes, a handful of nickels. We do not need 100 pennies. And if you're going to have unbelievably richer relationships to expand and grow your business, you can't go wide and big. You've got to go small and deep. Okay? So 5 individuals. They can all be realtors. They can be realtors and plumbers and whoever. The key is these are people that are extremely intentional about their business. No part-time realtors. You can't put part-time realtors in this. They're not going to work. They are extremely connected. So let me give you an example. An attorney is very intentional. An attorney is very credible. But sometimes they live in their own bubble and they're not connected. That's not who's going to help expose your business. Okay? So you want 5 people. And it may take you some time to get this. You're going to have to interview a lot of people. You may have to go back to your entire database and say, you know what, here we are at June, it's halftime. let's get together. Let's see if, what the rest of the year is going to look like for us. It's a 15-minute phone call every week. So now you've got intentional, connected, credible people that you like, know, and trust, but they can't commit to a weekly phone call. And what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to go into your power group, or they won't be involved in any of this. They'll just be part of your network. And when you call them, you're going to ask 4 things. You're going to talk about the accountability from the last call. After you're in the process of it, you're going to ask what their goal is for the week. You're going to ask who would you like to be connected with, and you're going to ask them about 3 things that you can do for them specifically that week. And we're going to talk more about that here in just a minute. The key here is the goal is not, what's your goal for this week? A new buyer. That's not the goal. That can't be part of this partnership. Who would you like to be connected with? More buyers. Nope, that's not the answer. And what 3 things can I help you with? Get me 3 buyers. Okay, this is not about referrals. This is about exposure and expanding each other's businesses. Period, end of story. Referrals will come from these, but this is not someone who necessarily is a realtor that you're developing a richer relationship with with the intent of just exposing their business and not getting referral business back and forth. All right, second group is your power group. So now there's 8 of them, you plus 7. And each one of them is different. So this would be, if you're in B&I, you know what a power group is. This would be everybody who surrounds themselves around buying a home. It could be a title company, 1 realtor, a home inspector, a stager, anybody who wants to touch a buyer or a seller. It's a 45-minute call once a month, not weekly. Again, you're going to ask the same topics, but this time it's what's your goal for the month? Who would you like to be connected with this month? And what is the one thing that we as a collective group can do for you? And you go around the table, if you can meet in person or through Skype or on the phone, and you go around the table and you allow everybody to answer that question. So now you have 7 people bird dogging for you for that month on whatever your goals are and whoever you want to be connected with. You can have a maximum of 5 power groups. Just remember that you're going to have 5 phone calls in a month, plus every week you're going to be having 5 15-minute phone calls with your profit partners. And then you'll have all the background follow-up that needs to be done on how you've committed to how you're going to help and expose their business. So you want to be careful not to have too many groups, but maybe start off with 1 group, get really good at it, and then start growing another. So pick and choose your people carefully. Again, they need to be intentional. They need to be credible, and they also need to be committed to this and connected. Your power group is going to be the #1 way that you fill your funnel of connections to people that can give you business, i.e. realtors, financial planners, or whatever other items you want to ask for. Okay, 3rd group, and this is where I think this starts getting really powerful. Well, everything's powerful about this, but I really think this gets really powerful in the cross-promotion partners, because we have so many real estate agents in our database and other connecting referral partners that aren't doing anything, and we're not doing anything with them. They're not doing anything with us. We just kind of email them some stuff, call them every once in a blue mood. We're so afraid to call them because we don't even know who they are. But this way we can say, you know what, maybe the best way is to have them be a cross-promotion partner. So you'd have 12 total members of this, 11 for you, 11 plus you, and you have 1 call every month, and the whole idea is that the group is working together to have an event together. They're cross-promoter groups. So you come up with a seminar, a charity event, a business mixer, a client appreciation, some CE classes, some sporting events or whatnot, and collectively this group of 11 promotes and attends and co-sponsors this event. Okay? So we get people to come, we get people to, we're tapping into their markets to come to this seminar, to come to this charity event, to come to a mixer. And we're all working on this together as a team. So it's really, really powerful. And the last group is your content distributor. And I look at this as they could be a number of people. Um, the reason I have 20 here, so it's 19 plus you. You could have anybody be doing this for you, but at some point it would saturate your Facebook and perhaps theirs, and you don't want to oversaturate and be unfollowed. That's where the concern is here. I have, matter of fact, my photographer for the picture that you saw on the screen there, she posts constantly. I stopped following her. I just couldn't do it. It was too much work, too much to be sorting through. This is social media based. So all you're saying is, listen, realtor, when you have a new listing, instant message me and I will, or tag me and I will share this with my social network. If you're having an event, tag me, I will share it. If you're writing a blog and you have something that's of importance, tag me, I will share it. So now your responsibility is that you're going to have to carve out time that we were talking about earlier with your strategic power hours and whatnot to re-tag and comment and repost and share their content. And at the same time, they're doing all of this for you. Anytime you have an event, anytime you push out content or take a picture with someone at closing, one of your clients at closing, they will push that information out and spread the word. This is about exposure. This is not about an actual deal, because that exposure will get you loans. I promise. It's going to get you all the loans you need. So let's talk about this exposure and how to build rapport. So the first thing is, when you meet all these people, and by the way, you're going to meet a ton of people, 100 people, because you have to isolate that down and figure out who is your best profit partner to help you get more profits for your business. So you have to conduct absolutely fantastic interviews. And the best way to do that is to use the FROG system. And for those of you that don't know what it is, or the Ford system or the FROM system, I've heard all kinds of things. I use FROG. Is talking about their family, talking about the recreation. This is getting to know them, right? Talking about their occupation. Why are they a real estate agent? How did they get? Why did they go into law? What are their challenges? What are their opportunities? What are their goals? You know, all of that. And this is the goals. So that's what FROG stands for. Now, by the way, if you've never heard this before, you don't go in there and say, tell me about your family. How many kids do you have? Tell me what you do for recreation. It's a conversation, guys. It's a conversation that might have to happen 2 or 3 times. And hey, by the way, just a little hint, when you're meeting with someone, before you leave the meeting, schedule the next meeting. Don't wait. Don't say, okay, let's get together in a couple months. I promise over time, your confidence is going to drop. And especially if you're one of the people that's afraid of a phone, your confidence is going to drop over time and you won't call them. So get the appointment scheduled now, and what you'll find later on is that when you are so busy and so booked, you automatically develop time compression techniques. You become more effective. I have proof. I'm proof of it. My son's proof of it. My son was a football player in college, and he had a 4.0 GPA all through college because he didn't have any time to mess around. That's what we want to get to the point, is we don't have any time to mess around. We are only doing the things that are making us get to the point where we can get to greater heights. So that's the first part about the relationship. Second is getting to know you. Those 4 questions I want to go into a little more depth on. What is your goal this week or month? And you may have to guide them a little bit. Is right now, one of my real estate agents, his goal is to finish The Richest Man in Babylon. So I sent him one of those new emojis that, you know, you can make it look like you and everything. And the emoji was reading a book. And I sent the emoji to him and said, how's it going? Because you want to support, you want to be their accountability partner. Maybe their goal is to drink 3 glasses of water, which, by the way, has happened. So I had my husband videotape me drinking a glass of water, and then when I finished, I went, how's that 3 glasses of water going a day? You know, how's that going? And so you want to support their efforts, whether they're personal or whether they're business. You want to be there as an accountability and partner and support them in what they're trying to accomplish. So you can't just say, hey, you know, what's your goal this month? My goal this month, well, my goal this month is to get my marketing package done. And then go next month and go, hey, did you get it done? Because I promise it won't get done. When they're calling you and asking you about how you're coming up with yours and holding you accountable, you're going to appreciate it as well, and you will get to your goals. The second one is, who would you like to be connected with? One of the things I learned while I was going, I've spent the last 6 months working on this, developing this. One of the things I learned is that I met with a financial planner last year, and it was way last year. It wasn't at the end of the year. It was because he was someone I wasn't on my radar all the time. And I met with him, and what I knew from my notes was that he was focusing on small businesses. Well, he changed his mind. He doesn't want to be connected with small businesses. So it really enlightened me to the fact that we have to always be asking who they want to be connected with and what their goals are, because what if they've changed their tune? What if you've changed your tune? This year, for example, my goal is to have my average loan amount is 647. Okay, my goal is to have my average loan amount be 725. So who do I want to be connected with, and how has that changed? Big time. I want to be connected with more affluent people. I left BNI and I joined a very sophisticated business club where I'm touching people that are in that realm. I also am an avid boater, but what I did is I joined the yacht club down in Washington, D.C. I don't yacht there because I don't have a yacht, I have a boat. Just a boat, but not a sailboat. But I go there for lunch and dinner, and I hobnob with those people. But my tune has changed, therefore theirs maybe as well. So who are they wanting to be connected with this week? Maybe their home inspector passed away, and they need a new home inspector. So they say, I need a home inspector. Now you're going to laugh when I do this because this is how I coach this. But what if someone said to you, I want to meet someone who loves underwater basket weaving with puppies? And you're going, I don't know anybody who loves underwater basket weaving with puppies. So the next phone call that you're making, because you're going to be talking to your other partners, right? And they say, who do you want to be connected with? You say, underwater basket weaving with puppies. That's who I want to be connected with. And the great thing about that is, because you didn't know anybody, now you may know somebody who does that anyway, and that expands your market. Now you can go back to your partner and actually connect them with that person. So you can use these connections on your behalf, for you, or you can use the connections to help your other partners and you at the same time. Okay, so what is the one thing I can do for you this week? You know, what can I do for you? And you may have to guide them on this as well. What can I do for you? Are you having an open house? Could I drop flyers with you? Could I walk the neighborhood with you and do an open house? Maybe you're having a sneak peek for just the neighbors. Could I help co-sponsor it? It's not always about money. This is what can I do for you to help expand and expose your business. Okay, maybe what I can help you do this week is get you, and this just happened, introduce you to a virtual assistant. Try to help you find a virtual assistant. So I referred 5 different virtual assistants over to my financial planners, who it was, you know, he now has those people to interview. So what is the one thing I can do for you this week to move the needle on your business, to move it forward? Okay. This I've talked about before. I do have it in a podcast. You can go try to find it if you want. I don't know which one it was, but I want to talk about past, present, and future. So these 3 questions are key, but the next part of this is past, present, and future. Asking them about their past 3 clients. So let me ask you a question. Can you just so I have a better idea of how your business operates and who you're helping and who you're serving, could you tell me about your last 3 clients that you helped? One might be a listing, one might be a buyer, one might be a renter. And let them explain the situation so that you don't stereotype what their business is. Okay? In addition to that, your follow-up question is, and then how did you meet them? And you'll find out, oh, well, that was from my BNI group. Oh, you're in a BNI group. I didn't know. Well, now that expands other opportunities for you. Or it was from a past client referral. What does that tell you? It tells you that they do a great job. So now you have more ammunition and more verbiage when you're referring them to say, and what's great about them is that they do a bang-up job for their clients because she gets a lot of her business from past clients. Okay? So talk about the past people. Talk about the future. So who are you meeting this week? How did you get introduced to them? What are you going to be helping them with? So that you can learn how you can dig yourself into there. Look for those triggers and signs. And then the reason you do present last is because we're loan officers. Who are you working with right now? Right? Not, hey, do you got any business for me? But who are you working with right now? And tell me about the situation. Okay, that's great. And then how did you get that business? How did you get that referral? Again, we're just learning, and if you don't have time to do 3, do 1 in each category, but 3 really gives you a better idea, and you can keep meeting with them and asking these questions every week or every month. But these are when you're meeting with them. This isn't your 15-minute phone call that you're making. If you feel you need to readdress it, then say, you know what, can we do a half an hour this week? I want to really get into what you've been doing. But you're asking the present to say, why did you choose the lender that you did? Can you fill me in on, you know, what made you select the lender that you had? Oh, the borrower had them. Okay, it's great. Do you think we could do second opinions? Or if they said, well, I really like them because they're really fast and they work on weekends, and that's not something you want to do, then don't engage with that, okay? But if it is, then say, well, I work on weekends too. But you're learning about them. So do past, future, and then present so that you can get to today's work. So your network is 6 profit partners, okay? 8 supergroup members, 12 cross promoters, 20 content distributors. That is 46 people bird dogging for you. Who's bird dogging for you now? Really bird dogging. Do they know what you're looking for this week? Do they know what your goals are? Do they know what they can help you with this week? The odds are no. What we're doing is we're relying on the fact that they know what I do, so they should just call me and sit back and hope. So
strategy.
Yeah. So explode. So 3 daily actions for you. You want to keep these are keeping front of mind. Do the likes and the shares and the posts and the comments. Okay, comment on everybody's stuff. Like stuff, share it. Just get yourself front of mind. Do it every day. In fact, you want to just do it 5 times a day. Okay, that's all you want to do is you just 5 people, you know, every day. Sorry, I was looking at my notes because now you, and invite them to events too, absolutely. Also, you want to do community engagement, where we talked about, are you doing or are you engaging, right? So 5 times, 5 daily, each of these, personal email, a call to check in, and an instant message. Now listen, the community, and a text, the community engagement is just you saying, hey, hi, I was just thinking about you, checking in, how you doing? A call to check, hi, I was just thinking about you, how's it going? An instant message. You saw something going, hey, I saw you did this. If anybody knows me, you guys could friend me. This past weekend, Mother's Day, I was shooting my gun, okay? And my daughter took a live video, so it's on there. But you can say, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were a gun girl. And okay, now I will give you business, you know, have some fun with it. Or text them and just say, you know, I hope you have a great Mother's Day. But the community engagement is key, but you've got to schedule this stuff so it gets done. So you just make these little jam sessions or power hours and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to like everybody's posts for a couple days. Keep in mind, you want to keep doing this with your 46 partners specifically, but you want to do it with everybody, okay? And then you have your partner calls weekly. So every day you're going to have 15-minute phone calls. Every day behind the 15-minute phone calls, you're going to post or do community engagement. Half an hour a day. Nothing, and you're doing something that is unbelievably strong. That's 222 touches, reach outs, engagements that you're making in a month. The question is, are you making 220 touches and engagements now? And I'll bet the question's no. So here's the deal, guys, because we're getting up on the time here. I want to ask you some questions. Is your business or your practice on demand or in demand? Are you transactional or relational? Do you work with people that complement or complicate your business? Are you working with referral partners, or are you trying to find fresh leads at a networking event? Are you cocky or are you confident? Are you a yes person or a no person? Are you saying yes to the right things and no to the right things as well? Are you bitter about our industry and what's going on, or are you better about it? See, I'm just going to be better. Do you have mindset and heart set? Are you really caring for people? Are you reacting or responding? Are you sitting back in your business, or are you leaning in? Are you warm or are you cold to people? Are you enhancing your business, or is it an expense? You know, we're spending a lot of money. Are you working from scarcity or abundancy? Do you work from price or advice? Are you a has or a has been? Are you working on your soft and hard skills, both? And please tell me your cell phone is not your CRM. Are you looking at this industry as a sprint or a marathon? Because I'm here to tell you, after 34 years, it's a marathon. Are you working on offense or defense? Are you always in a defensive mode, reacting? Are you task switching or doing single tasking? Are you the engine or are you the anchor in your business? Are you holding it down? Are you the intern or you are a PhD? You know everything about everything. You know your guidelines. Are you asking or are you expecting business? And lastly, are you doing or are you creating? Are you engaging? So here's my book, guys, coming out July 1st. Hope that you'll take it on. Michael Mayer is going to be writing the foreword for me, which is really sweet. I just want to remind you, I always end with this because I love Les Brown. If you do what is easy, your life is going to be hard. If you do what's hard, your life will be easy. You've got to take the time to have these interviews, to isolate these people, and then do the hard work so that it comes to you. It's drawn your way, not pulling your way, but it's coming your way. Okay. Questions?
All right. By the way, one of the first questions that popped in here, and I want to hit this just before we hit the top of the hour as well. Many of you on the post had asked about whether or not we'll be able to have access to the video. Obviously, Jen shared a ton of information in today's program, and actually there was more that obviously there's a whole wealth of additional information that she wanted, I'm sure, to cram into this.
I could never, ever
That's
do
the
it.
problem.
No.
You know.
Sorry.
Yeah, how do you cram 34 years of experience learning and training into a 50-minute webinar, right? So if you guys are interested in finding out more about how to engage Jen, or how to get started with finding out more about what we do at Maximum Acceleration, the first question is you know, what are the opportunities for you? The reality is here, and Jen, if you could go ahead and advance to the strategy session slide. You know, guys, one of the best ways we've found to help you understand the value of coaching is to actually experience it. So we offer you a no-cost, no-commitment strategy session as an option to allow you to get some live, real-time on-site coaching with one of our coaches. If you'd like to have a one-on-one session with Coach Jen, you walk away with some action plans, tools, and resources to overcome your biggest challenge and growth of your business. There's no cost or commitment. Of course, we'll leave a little bit of time to discuss if it makes sense for you now, or if not, when, to handle some of that engaging in coaching and what that would look like. But the reality is that is open to you. If you guys would like to take advantage of one of those strategy sessions, the fastest and easiest way to take advantage of it is to go ahead and just post in the Q&A or chat that you'd like to be able to take advantage of that session. Let us know the best phone number and email address for our team to get a hold of you and coordinate scheduling with Coach Jen for that appointment. On the other side of things, another big question that everybody posted multiple times was, will we have access to these resources and materials? Yes. By the end of the week, there is some post-production work that has to be done with videos and recordings and everything, but watch your inbox for an email. Everybody who is registered for today's program will receive a copy of video recording as well as a PDF of the slide deck with all the instructions and a lot of the details that Jen went into with some of the strategies she introduced today. And that will be going out by the end of the week. So just watch your inbox for that. All right. The next question, and guys, feel free to go ahead and keep posting questions as you know.
Yeah, we're going to go over the hour, so hang with us. So Cynthia, thank you so much for your post about listening to podcasts. I appreciate that. I just wanted to say hi.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, and I'm going to read through some of the questions as Jen answers a couple here. One of the first questions that came all the way back towards the beginning of the session was Joe was asking about the personal nurturing emails. Can you give us a little bit of an example of what that would look like and how that would differ from some of the more boilerplate message in a box type things that are out there for our industry?
I love that, message in a box. Yeah, the mass emails and stuff. Yeah, the personal touches, and I address that at the end, as well as, you know, doing those little touch points with them. The nurturing emails are just either initiating emails that start engagement. You know, hey, I was just thinking about you, I'm checking in. Using their name, please use their name. I know it sounds very silly, but, you know, hi Joe, it's Jen. I was just thinking about you today, and I just wanted to check in. How you doing? You know, what's going on? How's your business going this year? Just very quick little text, emails. You can do a voicemail, you can do video, however you want to do it, to initiate. The second level of that would be nurturing these the partners that you already have, nurturing them by saying, you know, hey Susie, it's Jen. You know, last month's meeting, because you're part of the power group, in last month's meeting you had said that you really wanted some help with putting together a financial advisors group and having a mastermind. I just wanted to touch base and see how that's going and see what I can do to help. You're nurturing, you're giving of yourself on a constant, you know, constant basis. And that's what you want to be doing. You want to be the giver, not the taker. You want to be someone who's sharing on a consistent basis and really demonstrating the importance of how important this relationship is to you. It's a rich relationship. That means it's wide and it's deep, right? It's not just deep and linear, it's wide. You care about these individuals. It's just like picking up the phone and calling mama. Yeah, hi mama, how you doing? Okay.
Absolutely. Great advice, great engagement. All right, next question that, Jen, I'd be interested to get your take on. Patrick asked a question about being brand new, having moved, you know, most of the way across the country, starting out in a brand new market. He's been doing mortgage about 14 years, but he's in a brand new market. What advice or guidance would you give for somebody in that position?
Yeah, well, I don't know that I could give you all the advice in a 30-second answer, so let me try try to help you. The first thing is you've got to get exposure in your market. So find ways to get exposure by, here's what I would do. Another whole session, but you might want to sign up for a coaching session, a complimentary session. I have a whole program about listing agents that I work with. I love when a listing agent says to me, I'm a listing agent. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. They think that, you know, as soon as they say listing agent that you're just going to walk away. Now
we'll go running for the hills, right?
Right, and now imagine what would happen if you could say, oh my gosh, that's great, I was looking for listing agents. So I have a whole program that's around listing agents that I use to help expose our businesses as well. And we do 10 different things together, 10 tips that we do. We do a sneak peek open house just for the neighbors. We engage with the neighbors to find their neighbor, find their new neighbor. We have a marketing program that we do when they go on a listing appointment. As soon as they go on a listing appointment, I jump in and call the seller and say, you know, I thank you so much for the opportunity, you know, that you're giving to her, and she's fantastic, and bang, you know, and I'm part of her team, and wait till you see all the stuff we're going to do for her. So there's all kinds of things that you could do from a listing standpoint, because you know what, those signs are sitting there. All you got to do is call them and say, hey, look, I'm new in the area and I've got 10 ways that I can help your business grow exponentially if you want to be a partner of mine. This is not me giving, this is a partnership. So that's one way that you could do it. The other way is start a meetup, go to a meetup, find a place that you can start networking so that you can start identifying people that you want to interview to see if they should be a partner of yours, and then that quickly you can start engaging with these 3 questions and 4 questions on a weekly basis.
Absolutely. I'll add to that, guys. You know, go where the people are that you want to do business with. You know, whether it is, you know, if you want to go after financial planners, get involved with the local financial planners organizations. If you want to work with CPAs, go, you know, and participate in sponsoring, become an affiliate member of the local CPA board. Mm-hmm. They have regular activities. I mean, any of these professional organizations, realtors included, frequently engage in a local community area. And when they're coming together for events like that, that's one of your best opportunities, especially the more social they are, the easier it is to engage and the less guarded people are.
Yep.
You know, dropping off donuts and rate sheets at real estate offices doesn't work real well these days anymore.
No,
because, you know, you got the bulldog at the door and the closed office, and by the way, the good agents aren't in the office either.
They're working.
Right? They're out selling homes, right?
Yeah. Get a local title company to help you sponsor a class on customer experience and customer service or something like that, so you can start drawing people in as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, another couple of great comments and questions here. I'm reading through. All right, one of the other questions that was posted here, you mentioned about who you serve. It was one of the questions that resonated with Bill here. What are the triggers to listen for? Can you give a little bit deeper example of, like, for example, Jen, I know you do a lot with financial planners.
Mm-hmm.
what would be one of the triggers to listen for when trying to generate more volume or more referrals for financial planners?
Okay, if it's the question is being asked that way, it might be that Bill's asking for the trigger for him to know who they serve. I'm not sure how that question goes, but I'm going to try to do my best to do that. Okay, so I have a financial planner that I work with, and she specializes in divorce. And so the triggers that she's given me to be looking for, obviously, are divorced people, and that's half of the people you talk to are divorced. Just so you know, 52% actually now, and people are getting a divorce every 13 seconds in the United States right now. So you have a lot of people out there that can help you, that can do business with you for divorce. But so some of the triggers are, yeah, my husband and I just got separated. She has a group called Dear Divorcee, and she does a monthly, getting to know and understanding about the finance that's involved with it. So anytime someone says I'm getting divorced, or we just got separated, my husband and I mean, I get these phone calls from clients all the time saying, I know my situation's kind of unique, I'm getting divorced, and I'm like, well, it's not unique. But so anytime that someone does that, that chirps up my ears to know to give them give them the referral to Dear Divorce. Hey, look, if you're in the process and you're just a little confused about where to go, there's a group of women that get together once a month, and they do this activity together. I'm also part of something called Suddenly Single. And it's another financial advisor who's a financial expert, and she doesn't actually do financial advising. She just does the finance part of the divorce. And Suddenly Single is a conglomerate group of a bunch of us. In fact, we're about ready to take this. We will be taking this national and franchise it, where we have all of the pieces that you need for a divorce: the mortgage lender, the finance person, the CPA, the coach, the life coach. And so whenever they trigger those types of things, so again, what we would want to do is provide through that training process, what we would want to do is provide our referral partners with triggers for us, and then triggers, they want to provide them for them. For us, it's things like, my house is getting too small, my house is falling apart, I just got engaged, we just found out we're having a baby, my kids are growing up and going to college, my son's about ready to graduate. I mean, all of these are triggers for us, and we need to give them those phrases so that they're aware of those types of triggers and how they can help us. So I answered both,
Okay.
I think.
So yeah, it's really more about those life events that create
Absolutely.
opportunities for us to provide service to those customers.
Yep.
And I don't know, it was one of the more subtle things that Jen said in this webinar, but I wanted to go back and highlight something that I thought, well, and it's kind of part of our culture here at Maximum Acceleration anyway, but one of the things that was the most profound takeaway I got from this program was the question that Jen shared about, who do you serve? I love the way that you phrase that, because that's exactly what this is. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, people complain about being overly solicitous or salesy, but the reality is we're not looking to twist people's arms and force them into something that's a bad fit. What we are looking to do is to provide a high caliber of service to a family that has a specific need at a time and place where it's appropriate for them. Sometimes, though, they don't always know that they have that need or opportunity. Right? And how many people have been misinformed by today's media, the doom and gloom of the world, to believe that the home buying process is an arduous, difficult, and expensive thing that you gotta have perfect credit and 20% down. Well, those of us as professionals in the industry know that not to be true. However, how much of the general consumer public is aware of that? And when we know something they don't know that is costing them a lot of money or putting them in a less than desirable living situation, how obligated do we feel to do something about it and take the initiative to reach out and at least try to educate or inform them that they might be missing out on one of the best housing opportunities in the last 50 years.
Right.
All right.
That's called, by the way, that's called
guys,
the forever home question. Are you in your forever home? And most of the time the answer is no. Okay, then let's find another home for you. Let's get you moving if you're not in your forever home, because they think that credit has not expanded. So again, guys, this is the difference between being on demand and in demand. If you know who they're serving and you can explain who you like to serve, that will put you in demand rather than an on-demand situation. You won't have to have conversations with the people you don't want to have conversations with. Okay, that's
yeah, definitely.
who do you serve? Who do you serve?
Absolutely. I love the way you phrased that, Jen. I loved
Yeah,
it.
well, and
All right, guys.
just to reiterate it, it was tell me about your business and who do you serve. That's what I use. Tell me about your business and who do
Definitely.
you serve, not what do you do.
Absolutely, guys. Well, there's a whole host of information here, and then Jen, I want to be respectful of your time. If you have to jump off, I do understand and appreciate. There's still a flood of questions coming through, guys.
I'm
If we
good.
don't have time
I'll
to get
stay.
to all of them,
Hmm.
then we can certainly circle back around. Just one more time, I wanted to reiterate, though, guys, if you are serious or thinking about taking the business to the next level and you'd like to know more about what we offer here at Maximum Acceleration, the variety of different programs, yeah, just let us know. Post the best phone number and email address for you. We'll get you scheduled for one of these complimentary strategy sessions. You'll walk away with some good advice and guidance on how to overcome your biggest challenge, as well as a lot of tools and resources to help you do it. We're very content rich on what we do here at Maximum Acceleration. By the way, we do offer a couple of different levels of service, from our virtual coaching programs all the way through to the one-on-one training and event speaking and presentation. Jen loves to come out and work with larger groups as well. If you have an event coming up that you'd like to talk to Jen about having her present at, that's always an option as well, and you're welcome to post that here in the Q&A. All right. One of the other questions that came through, where did it go? I just lost track of it. It was a really good question, and now I can't find it. Oh, it was in reference to a specific topic on one of the slides. Let me see if I can find this really, really quickly, guys.
Okay.
Some of the questions that you asked to go deeper, I think it was slide 18. Let me see if I can find this thing really, really quickly. I'm going to try and pull it back to that slide so we can share.
Okay.
The question related to this was, I jumped past it. Gosh darn it.
That's okay. I'm trying to find it too. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, well, the question was something about this. Okay, so I think it was right about this point you made the comment about never leave a meeting without another meeting booked.
Yes.
How do you get them to commit to the next appointment? What are some of the strategies that you've found to be the best at creating that commitment and actually getting them to want to book that next appointment, to keep that cycle going?
Yeah, I think if you're not, I don't really have a strategy for that, because the reason I don't is because my interviews are all about them. And they already see the value. They can tell I'm a giving person, and and if you guys all can't tell, I'm a very giving person. So when they know that I'm there to give them, I've asked those questions. I've asked, tell me about your goals. What can I help you? Tell me about the goal you're having this week, this month, this year, when you're having those meetings. Who do you want to be connected with? Not, my product is this, and my, just info dumping. My product, this is what I can do for you, and if you have a buyer, I can help you. I notice in that whole thing, I never asked for a referral. You will get to the point where you have the right to ask for the referral, because you're giving to them, and you have every right to ask for referrals when you start giving to people. But you can't be a cat on a marble floor and scrambling for, they know what I know, they know what I do, so they should just be giving me deals, and then you're wondering why. And the reason is you haven't gained the trust of that individual by getting to know who they are. And they love talking about themselves, so let them talk about themselves the first meeting. And inevitably what will happen is they'll say, I didn't get to ask you about your goals or about who you want to be connected with. And I say, well, that's fine. Let's go ahead and schedule another one now. But I've never had a problem with someone not saying, let's schedule another, because the quality of the meeting is so good. So if you're having a problem getting that next appointment made right there, Johnny, on the spot, I would look at what the quality and content is of the meeting itself. Is it all about you, or is it all about them? Is it about what we do or who we are? You'll get to the what we do a little later on, but you need to develop a relationship with them, and it takes some time, some nurturing, some recognition. Don't let these little things go over your head when they say, oh, my Washington Capitals lost the game. They said my Washington Capitals. They're a Capitals fan, so take note. Send them tickets, invite them to a game, send them a sympathy card. You know, just
When
let
they
it,
lose.
but right, but I mean, you have some fun with it and say, I'm so
Isn't that a fun
sorry for
lose
you,
thing?
you poor thing. Yeah, but you shouldn't have a problem scheduling another one if the quality of your meeting is great to begin with.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, one question that somebody asked that I wanted to circle back to, you mentioned about your listing agent system and
Yes.
appointment. Is that something that's a package, like is that available in an e-learning course or something like that? How do people get access to that particular piece of content?
Okay, you and I, Eric, will work on that together to be able to offer
Okay.
it to everybody, because I learned a lot of the system from from a loan officer and a realtor who are doing it together, and
Hmm.
I took it and I genized it, right? I
Yeah.
genized
Well,
it.
and it's kind of funny you
So it's a
mentioned that
little
because
of
I've got
that.
something.
Yeah, a little of everything. So maybe the two of us could get together and create something specifically for more maximum acceleration group. Why don't we do
Yeah,
something
definitely.
like that? But yes,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
can help you.
yeah, definitely. I mean, my favorite response to it, and when realtors ask me that question all the time, and I love it when they try and give that brush-off tactic because it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I love working with listing agents. You know, the
Yeah.
fact of the matter is, the home is what attracts buyers anyway, and I can help you capitalize on that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
Mr. Agent. So
Perfect.
I love working with listing
Catch them
agents.
off guard. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, not only that, but it is something that I do, you know, we work effectively with a lot of our
Mhm.
coaching clients to promote on the listing side because, you know, the practical reality is in today's environment, and by the way, this is tied to another question that's coming down the pike here. You know, the practical reality is 9 out of 10 buyers are pre-approved before they talk to a realtor these days. The realtors are afraid of alienating that customer and irritating them. You know, they'll refer away from an unknown lender or a known to be bad lender, but they
Right.
typically aren't going to refer a customer to us that is working with a knowledgeable or credible lender unless they see the way in which they would lose money by not, or lose opportunities by not introducing us to that particular client. And so as a result of that, you know, the listing side of things is one, it's a way that we can get to buyers earlier and help that agent create more credibility and value and trust with that potential buyer that they could get business on or provide service to. So that
Right.
ties into that whole system. And that kind of circles around to this question of you know, when it comes to going, to building richer relationships and partnerships, how do you address, or how do you recommend loan officers address the whole 9 out of 10 buyers are pre-qualified before the realtor talks to them thing?
Right. So for our richer relationships, because we have the strength of the relationship and the training session that you do, okay, that hour or two that you take to do a training session to help them learn all about you is also asking them, you know, for opportunities to do second opinions. And one of the things I just learned recently, I was teaching some real estate agents on, I call it RESM, Real Estate Sales Mastery, and it's traditional sales, okay? Features,
Mm-hmm.
advantages, benefits, you know, all of that. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
objections that they had, and I said, well, what kind of objections do you get? And I know that they get it about their commission and, you know, some other things. But what I was very surprised about, and this was several months ago, but what they had said was, you know, one of the objections we have is that they come to us and they have an approval from someone online. And so we developed a feel, felt, found script for them. You know, I know how you feel. I've had other clients who felt the same way, but what they found is that they did not have a smooth transaction. And so therefore, I would love for you to get a second opinion from my local lender so that we have more control over the process and the transaction given today's current mortgage loan process and environment. And that's been really, really helpful, just asking for a second opinion. To work with someone locally. And you know, here's another thing you can do too, guys. When you're talking to loan officers or clients, when they call and they say, you know, hey, I got 3 names and I'm shopping around, you know, even if they don't tell you, make the assumption that they are shopping around and say, you know, I imagine that you probably have questions about what differentiates me over the other lenders that you perhaps are making phone calls to. And so I'd like to take this opportunity to explain why I am different. Because if you let that lie, then it's up to the client to make that differentiation, and guess where they will make it? Rates.
Price.
Period.
Yeah.
End of story.
Exactly.
So if you say it and the next guy doesn't, you've already differentiated yourself, and now it doesn't become about rate. It becomes about the quality and the value of the service that you have to give to them. So it's the same thing with your client. Look, we're all the same. Realtors are the same, lenders are the same, title companies, we're all the same. I'm just that much better, and I'm that much different. And I need to help everyone understand that.
Exactly. Well, guys, it's been a great session. Jen, I know you've got a million things to do, and so we're going to go ahead and move towards wrapping this thing up today. Guys, again, if you have any questions about the services we offer here at Maximum Acceleration, how you can help use that to help power up your business and grow to exponential levels over the next couple of months, feel free to reach out to us. Schedule one of those strategy sessions with Jen or myself or the rest of the team, and we'll get you plugged in and the resources you need to be able to get to that next step in your business. Again, last call here. Those of you watching this on video, feel free to hop on our website, MaximumCoach.com. You can access a strategy session from that directly as well. Otherwise, guys, we're going to leave the platform open for a few more minutes for any final questions, comments, or strategy session requests. Again, just post the best phone number for our team to get a hold of you and coordinate scheduling. We only have a handful of those strategy session appointments every day that we'll get you plugged into. I guess with that being said, Jen, any final thoughts or ideas you'd like to share with the group here before we hop off?
I would just say, guys, take action. It's all about action in this business, and it's not about hopping from idea to idea or taking something and not taking it all the way to the end. Take some time, some downtime to get a checkup from your neck up, right? So that you can implement this strategy with everybody. And perfect time of the year when it's halftime. We're at half point. You want to reconnect with everyone, see how their goals are going, see what's coming up, how can you help them get to their goals, and in the same time help yourself. So it's all about taking action. That's why my book is called, right now, it's called Launch. Stop talking, take action. Enough of the talking, get doing it.
Can't wait to see a copy. We'll, by the way, if you're looking for an endorsement, oh yeah, I know, but if you're looking for an endorsement on that one, I'd be happy to write one for you.
You already committed to it.
Yes, I know. I just got to get it
you
ready.
already committed to it. I know. I'll get a piece to you, and then you can write it, actually. But I haven't gotten to that point yet. But you already committed. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just remind Christy to slap me around on that one a little bit, and I'll get it done for you. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for joining us for this episode on Mastering Maximum Performance webinar series. If there's anything else myself or the rest of the team here at Maximum Acceleration can do to get you to your goals faster, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and connect. We'd love to offer you the opportunity to experience what we provide and hopefully be able to partner with you in your success and see the results that we can achieve together. That being said, like I said, make it a great week, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the webinar series.
Take care.
Make it a great week, everybody.
Take care.